On the 17th of March this month, maybe a day or two before, I was told, I had a phone call and told that they were going to try to shut down my video and my Facebook from the political that I have on here about mind control and my kidnapping by using the mental health system, the Blue Ridge Mental Health. And I totally believe they would follow through with it still today. I'm afraid, and I'm going to try to get and not to put too much on here because I was told I'd suffer the consequences. And I'm just going to leave it at this because all the TV, the networks, all know the truth about this. I'm going to say this about the what I've said in the past. I've told about mind control, and Larry Flynn, I've used his editorial April of '84, where he said that I knew who was responsible for his shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which it was a mind control shooting. The person was programmed. Now then, the German plane that just went down, I've been saying this all along, so it's nothing new, except this one has a different text in it, but I don't have room to go. They've got me shut down. I don't know that I can get this up. My phone's been, so I tried something else. I'm not sure it'll go up, and I'm not sure they won't come and handcuff me and take me off, and I'll never see the light of day. But it's not the co-pilot that reprogrammed it. It's the pilot himself that was programmed. He's a victim. It is the German Lufthansa that just went down. I've been saying this all along, so this is nothing new, other than the press is reporting that he's to blame and he reprogrammed the flight plan and all. So that's not true. It's he, the co-pilot, that was programmed, and he's a victim. Now, I want to get back to this. I was told prior to the 18th this month that they were going to have me locked up and declared my age and the fact that I have an immune disorder, and I've been telling about that. The chemicals were used to make me move, and I named names. It's an immune. It has nothing to do with mental health, other than that they have used that to run me and the chemicals. And now to shut me up, we're going to turn around and use what they did to me as a means, because I can't get an attorney. So it's on all my videos and on Facebook, most of it. But I want to say that I was triggered then when I got the phone call from someone who really would know what they were going to do, and I had an inkling of it anyway, and so I've lived in fear because they can do it. So I ran. I checked out of where I was, and I called a cab, and the cab said that he would take me. I wanted to get across the state line to Bristol, Tennessee, just over the line, to try to get away from them so they couldn't do it. Instead, I got down there, and a lot of things happened. I can't tell it en route. So it ends up that I lost my stuff here. I had to leave it. I couldn't take it. I intended to get the bus or get a place to stay, and I realized I'd run, and I was going to run out of money anyway. So I asked the cab driver. He had switched from this cab right here, and by the way, I paid him $30 to come back, so it was a total of $180, which to me is difference in something to eat and to run again in case they try it, if I can. So anyway, on the way back, if you stop and think about all this, you yourself would see the programming done in it. But on the way back, he said he'd bring me back. He had to come back anyway for $30. So on the way back, I had called Affordable Corporate Suites there in Christiansburg, and they had an empty apartment. The officiant said they were going to rent me. And so, but the cab driver who had switched from the cab to his own private car, said, well, I'm going to turn off here. I believe it's on Peppers Ferry Road off of 81, and I'm going back north. And got off on Peppers Ferry. What he said, the apartment, affordables on Pepper's Ferry. He said he was going to turn off there and go to Dublin because he was familiar. So I'm not going to put anybody knows what I'm talking about. If I say we turned off at Dublin and went by, I believe we went by the New River, I know we did, airport. Went on and got to Affordable Corporate in Christiansburg on Pepper's Ferry, and that was not going to work at all, so I had to go back to Roanoke. Now, I'm putting this here because it's something that happened later that I've been telling about, and I also told about this, and I'm suffered repercussions from this. I went up to the British Embassy, and it's not the Brits. The Brits are the only people, and the Germans and some Americans that's kept me alive. But anyway, as response to where I've been, the Murphy is in Alexis Murphy. I've already put that up. That's nothing new. And then it's the name used, and it's Falls. I went to Falls Church. It was, and I was going to the embassy, or Fairfax, and it's all the same, Fairfax County. And I checked in, and I went to the embassy. This is on 613. I had the cab take me, and but he took me in his car, and I paid him. And that's the cab number. And this is on the way back right here. Now then, people will try to dismiss it. And the problem is that around here and Atlanta and Huntsville, where a lot of this has happened, they all know it. They just rather I'd vanished. It wouldn't make all this stop. But this is Anchorage Motel. While the cab took me there, and I was shocked. It's on Lee Highway where I stayed. Ended up staying there. It's this Econo Lodge, I believe it was, on Lee Highway. Yeah, 9700. Now then, that I was shocked. I pulled in there to see if I could get a cheaper price. And Anchorage Motel was where, on my class trip in 57 from Moulton, Alabama, that we went and spent the night, and a night or two, I believe, and they ran us off the second night, said we were making this, my high school was making too much noise, and we were Southerners. I'm English, by the way. So if you want to look back and see all this, I was kidnapped, and I'm afraid to say my real name now because they're going to use that against me, and I won't be able to go to a court of law. I won't ever see the light of day. But this is in Fairfax, and it still had the same name, Anchorage Motel, as when I finished high school. Now, this was in 2001, so I don't know if it's changed or not. But anybody around here knows what I'm talking about. The yellow cab was what took me to Dublin and then on back to Roanoke, and it's what happened later. Now, I want to say on here that I had talked to a friend of mine, Terry, just prior when I found out they were going to try to, in other words, get my power of attorney and declare me, I guess, incompetent, and I'd never get out. I wouldn't even have the money to. But I called him, and I'm just going to say that, Terry, and then I'm going to leave it at that because anybody here knows it's the Channel 10, Channel 7, Channel 13. You got the networks know it. It's because of my kidnapping and what I'm saying, the mind control murders and who's doing it. And they've covered it up. They've not told it. And part of it is Terry Thomas played in Mad, Mad, Mad World. If anybody goes back and watches that movie, it was a comedy and one of the best, I thought. If the truth is told worldwide, it's a means of sending messages, knocking people off and using their names and addresses. So if you can get with how it makes Edward Snowden, what he told, tip of the iceberg, and they want to do the same thing to Snowden, put him away so he can't talk again. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can get this up. It's going out, but it's a timeline, a kind of one anyway. There's more to it. Anyway, the thing there is if the world knows about the mind control and who's doing it and why am I kidnapping, It will be a mad, mad, mad world, but there's more